Hi, my name is Michael Blake, and I'm a philosophy professor at the University of Washington. I love doing philosophy. I came to it after a career of trying to do other things and always running into the same problem. I kept on asking why. Why do we believe that? What reason do we have to think the things we think? At a certain point, you arrive at questions that are rightly turned philosophical. And a lot of the most interesting ones are about morals, ethics, what it is right to do, what it's wrong to do. That's what we're going to be examining in this class. We're going to be talking about some contemporary moral problems. But we're not just going to be talking about them, we're going to be examining philosophical arguments about morality. There are three terms here that I want us to highlight right from the get-go. First is philosophical. A lot of the things that you do in university involve studying the world by going out in it, trying to understand what makes it tick. That's not what philosophers do. What we do is much more abstract, much more conceptual. We try to understand the logical structure of the things we believe. And we're going to use arguments in this task. Now, by arguments, I don't mean the usual sense of snarling abuse. What I mean instead is the giving of reasons in favor or against some particular way of viewing the universe. And the chunk of the universe that we're going to be talking about is the universe of morality. Now, morality is a category of reasons. You have a lot of reasons to do things. Some of them are self-interested. You want to do things that will make your life go better. Morality is not like that. Morality says, don't do this, even if it makes your life go better. I'm not allowed to hurt people gratuitously, let's say, even if it would be really advantageous, because they have rights against my doing that. But why do they have them? This is what people have argued about. They've tried to understand this kind of reason for a long time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn about these arguments. We're going to try to make some ourselves. And you're going to come to terms, I hope, with your own views about morality, what is right and what is wrong. Now, there's some things I want to highlight right from the beginning about how we're going to do this. The first thing I want to make very clear is you have to ask questions. This is why philosophy is usually called an activity, not just a discipline. You have to fight back. I want you in the discussion forums, in your papers, to raise issues, to question the people that we're reading. We're reading smart people, but they don't all agree with each other and they can't all be right. When you disagree with someone, ask a question, point out a problem, be an active part of the discussion. This leads to another issue. We're dealing with some pretty hot-button issues here. And sometimes it's tempting to fall into the trap of thinking that people who disagree with you are bad people. They can be, but mostly they're people who just disagree with you, and it's your job to understand why and to treat them as fellow participants in this task of understanding this very confusing universe. So we have to go in with the presumption that the other side are not demons, they're reasonable people just like you, and then you have to figure out where you disagree and why. And this leads to the last thing I want to emphasize. You have to read carefully. Philosophy reading isn't like reading in other disciplines. You're not just trying to get the gist, you're trying to fight back. You're trying to figure out why these people have made these arguments, whether they're good or not, and if you don't think they're good, where to disagree. And that means you've got to read a lot, and you've got to read slowly. So we're not having you read a huge amount of pages, but I do want the pages you read to be read often and carefully. Now, with that warning in the background, I want to end by just reiterating something that I think is entirely true. This is fun. This is a hugely fun activity. We all are philosophers, whether we know it or not. We all have beliefs about what other people are entitled to, about how to treat people with respect, about what should be done and what shouldn't be done. In this class, we're going to get deeper into these beliefs and figure out whether we have a reason to believe the things we do. And that's a serious business. People's lives can be affected by bad reasoning and by good reasoning, but it's also enormously fun. It's why I do what I do, and I hope that you find it fun too.